Hey there folks, today we're going to do a little different kind of video. It's going to be more of an instructional video. Yeah, I know I look kind of goofy, but it's because we're going to be doing some work. Today you're going to learn how to take the carburetors off of an old BMW, namely this 1982 R65 LS. In my personal opinion, you're really only going to need three things for this. One of these fancy multi-tool things, some container to catch the gas, and gloves. Now the first couple things you're going to do is just to set the bike up to get ready. Obviously, first thing to make this even easier, put it up on the center stand so that it's not leaning to one side, because that will just make your job harder. Then we want to get the petcock here. Make sure that this is turned into the off position, because otherwise, as soon as you get these carburetors off, gas is just going to come pouring out, and that's no fun. Okay, now this right here, this is the carburetor. Yay! Now what we're going to start with is, you see this little thing down here? This thing is called the cup. At least that's what we call it, and this holds the extra gas that's being pumped in from the engine. Taking this off because it has gas in it. We don't want to get any more gas all over the place than we really need to, and also because it's the single easiest thing to take off of here. Okay, now the only thing actually holding this cup on here is this little thing. Okay, this little metal bar. So what we're going to do, make sure that your container that you're catching gas in, which, keep in mind, you should probably rinse out, because if you want to pour the gas back into the gas tank, you want to make sure that there is absolutely no foreign objects in here. It's probably not really necessary to do that, but it's one of those caution things that I would suggest. So you make sure that your gas catcher is positioned right underneath the cup, and then all you do is slowly and carefully, so as to spill as little as possible, you just go like this. Take both sides of this thing and push towards the back of the bike. See how that's now off? Now, what you can do is slowly, because this is full of gas, like I said, lower this out of there and pour whatever excess gas is in here into your cup. Now the next thing we're going to do, and you're actually going to need your little multi-tool for this, is we're going to disconnect this thing over here. Alright, and another tube that you can't see in this frame but is likewise on the other side, but we'll show that to you in the next step. Now what you want is the flathead screwdriver part of the multi-tool-y thing. So all we really have to do to get this off is, you see that, and that. Those screws tighten these bands. You loosen the screws, the bands loosen, you can just sort of pop them off. So that's what we're going to do. Now don't unscrew these so far that the bands come off, because we don't necessarily need them off, we just need them loosened enough that you have some wiggle room. This is that other little rubber tubey thingy I was telling you about. This is the next thing that we gotta take off, okay? So basically, same thing, flathead screwdriver. It works on the exact same principles. There's one over here. And then there's also one, though you can't really see it, there's one down here. In fact, I'll move you so you can't see it. See the other one in there? That's the other one you gotta do, so I'm gonna do that. Okay, now what we're gonna do is, we got the first tube over here, and now actually in this shot you can see the second tube over here. We're going to disconnect right in here. All you do is just pry them apart, and as you can see, the whole carburetor comes off. You can just sort of let that hang there. And we got that off. Now we can also pop that off. Now we've moved over a little bit here, and the next thing we're going to disconnect is, if you see this, that's the gas line that goes to the gas tank. All that is, as you can see sort of there, it's just attached on by a nozzle, so you can pretty much just yank that nozzle off. Like so. It sticks on there pretty good. There you go. See, now that's off. Gas. Now the only things it's connected by, as you can see here, are, this is the ignition cable, this is the petcock cable, or whatever the fuck that thing's called. I'm gonna call it a petcock cable because it's attached to the fucking petcock. Now the next bit's pretty freaking easy, actually. We pretty much have to disconnect these two cables, and all you really gotta do for that is you have a connection up here, you have a connection down here. Okay? So all we're gonna do is we're gonna loosen that bolt so we can get this loose, and then we're gonna unscrew this from the top. Okay? So we need to get a wrench. Now, as with most multi-tools, mine does not happen to have a wrench. It does have pliers, as you can see, and if you had to do this for God knows what reason on the road, those pliers would probably suffice. However, seeing as how I don't really feel like going through that much trouble, and as you can see by looking at especially this, these are looking a little rusty and probably sticky, I'm just going to use one of these things because they're nice and I like them. Ta-da! This is one off. What we're going to do, this is very important so you don't lose any little pieces. Take the nut off. Can you see that? No, now you can. Put it somewhere safe. Take the washer off. Put it in the same safe place. And what we're going to do, we're just going to sort of lift this end up enough that we can pop this little thing here, this wire out. Like that. Now, keep in mind, you can see, I know you missed that, but you'll see it again. You can see on here, you see that little hole? That means that you don't really need to loosen the bolt for this. I did it anyway, because you may need to at some point, in case it gets clogged up, or in case it just won't go, or whatever, because then you can just pop this whole top bit off of here once you unhook it from the screw. Then you can slide this out normal ways, if, you know, say this is caught and won't extend. So then we're just going to take the washer and the bolt, or the nut rather, put it back where it was, because now it's disconnected, and because we don't want to lose it. And actually, since like I said, we don't really need to take this off, I'm going to tighten this back up where it was. Make sure it still moves. Fantastic. Next side, and hopefully you'll be able to see better. This time I'm going to do it without even having to loosen the bolt, okay? So all you got to do is take this thing, push it up to there, you know, pretty much as far as it'll go, then take the little wire, go like that, slide it over, and that little slot I was talking about, slide the wire out through there, give it a little wiggle, ta-da, it's out, okay? And then you can just let that snap back, alright? Now all we're going to do for this next bit is take these off. So what we're going to do is, you can see there, just take this, tighten it up to the right size again, all that jazz. Loosen up that bolt a little bit. And then what we can do is twist, 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 basically until this comes out of there. And then, ta-da! Just do the exact same thing for that side. And then the whole carburetor will be off. Okay, so now as you can see, we've got the carburetor off. However, open bit, open bit, open bit. You can actually move these over here so that they're not in the way. Now, we don't want anything getting into those. So what we're going to do, we're going to take clean rags. This is, I believe, an old cloth diaper or something to that effect. What we're going to do is just sort of stuff them up in there. Like that. Okay, so there's one. This is an old diving t-shirt. Stuff that one in there. And then also, and this is sort of optional, but, you know, why the hell not? You also don't want anything getting in or out of the gas line, which shouldn't theoretically be a problem, but just to be sure. And keep in mind, major props to my father for this little trick. He taught me how to do all of this especially, but this is a little trick that I never would have thought of. You can do, just take a golf tee and shove it up in there good, and you're plugged up. Now, obviously, all you got to do to finish up your work is go over onto the other side, do the exact same damn thing you've done here over on the other side. But, as a nice little ending here, I thought it would be kind of cool if you guys actually knew why the fuck I was doing this in the first place. So, this is the carburetor, as you can see, with the cup off. These little things are the floaters. They're little, like, styrofoam, some kind of foam floats, essentially. Now, if you notice, if you can see in there, kind of hard, way down in there, can you see that little gold plug? Well, as you can see, when I lift this, that goes up. Okay, now that little gold plug is connected to a little needle that's essentially a shutoff valve. Okay, and what that does is when the gas starts filling up in the cup, obviously if the gas gets too high, then the cup will overflow and you'll get gas all over a hot engine, which isn't fun. So in order to avoid that, what happens is those floats, as you saw, rise with the gas level. Well, when the gas level gets to a certain point, they have pushed the shutoff valve up so far that it shuts off the gas. Therefore, it doesn't overflow. It's also can be called an overflow valve. It's just a tiny needle that gets pushed up as the floats rise. Now, the problem that we've run into is that the old foam in those particular carburetors was made back when gasoline was pretty much just, you know, normal gasoline. Well, if you look now at gas stations and stuff, you may see these little signs that say may contain like 10% alcohol or something, you know, may contain alcohol essentially. One of the things that they do in order to help save money is they cut gas with some alcohol. The problem is, old carburetor floats like the ones we have aren't made for that. And what they'll actually do is they will absorb the alcohol, thereby making them denser, making them heavier, making them not float as well. So they don't float at the same rate that they did before. The issue with that is, then the shutoff valve doesn't go off because they sink a little bit. And the issue with that is, as I said, the cup starts to overflow, and the carburetor spills gas all over a hot engine, which usually just results in and you wasting a lot of gas, but also has the possibility of resulting in that's not fun. Okay, so I realize that there's something that, though I hopefully don't have to say, I probably should, just because there are stupid people in the world. I'm relatively sure that none of them watch any of my videos, but always be safe. You'll notice that at the very end of the video there, I was, as I am wont to do, smoking. Now, You'll also notice that I was not in the same position that I had been in earlier. And though you couldn't see this, I was about a good 20 feet from the bike. And as you also probably noticed, I had taken my gloves off. Now this is the bit that I shouldn't have to say, but I'm going to anyway. If you are a smoker, and you're going to have a cigarette, please bear in mind that you've just been working with, chances are, a fairly large amount of gasoline. Don't light up your cigarette anywhere near the bike, anywhere near where the bike has been. If you have gas on your clothes, if you have gas on your hands, take anything off that has even the smell of gas on it before you light up a cigarette, okay? Don't be a fucking idiot. You very well may just go, pfft, okay? Don't be that guy. Please, like, I will not be your friend anymore if you decide to be that guy. I won't, I can't be your friend. Just please don't be that stupid. Please, prove my faith in you that I didn't have to, like, say this. Please.
Like nothing else.